All right, vocab in context 2. So there's also a vocab in context 1, which means vocab in context, very likely to show up on the exam. Anything that says vocab means word knowledge. Okay, word knowledge is one of the 4 categories that makes up your AFQT score or your ASVAB score. Okay, so it means it's worth 25% of your score. Okay, so with word knowledge, in terms of how to improve your vocabulary, number one thing to do is read more, right? Look to read 15 minutes a day until the exam, preferably some type of something that has a little emphasis on military, like a military blog or a military magazine. Those would be great. Second thing would be spend more time with the WhipSmart app. Give lots of questions and examples with words that show up the most commonly on the ASVAB. That will help you as well. All right, so we got 2 examples here. So vocab in context, what that really means is you have a more like a pretty detailed sentence, and then there's a word that you have to kind of fill in the blank on. Okay, and then based on the context, we should be able to guess at what the word is. All right, so let's see what they got here. So it says the first one here: which word completes the following sentence and makes the most sense? Most sense. The mood as she entered the room was blank. So we're talking about some type of mood, right? So Sophia knew something must have gone wrong in surgery that afternoon. So a mood about something that's gone wrong, right? So your first thought is bad. Real simple word, right? But bad's not really a mood, right? Bad, or, if we're in second grade, bad, sad, something like that. Upset, something like that. But what we really want to be looking for is anything that doesn't represent that, like anything that's like words that are descriptive that are like happy or something like that. Make sure we can eliminate those. Okay, so that's where we'll be going with this. Okay, and so our choices are jovial, solemn, simpering, boisterous. Okay, so vocab in context 2 is one of the harder sections in all of word knowledge, and that's the reason, right? We have some harder words. Okay, jovial and boisterous are more happy and uplifting type words. So we'll get rid of those. There's a decent chance that you're not exactly sure what simpering means. Okay, and if you also don't know what solemn means, then you just have to guess. So it does end up that the actual answer is solemn. But one of the key points there is that, especially on a tough section like vocab in context 2, if we eliminated 2 of the answers and we're now at 50-50, and then we're doing great on some of the easier ones, but at least we're consistently being able to eliminate a couple of the bad answers, is your score is going to be good. Okay, for word knowledge, right? Is your word knowledge score will be pretty good if you're doing that, because there's going to be some where you definitely know all the words, and there'll be some where you don't. Again, on the ones you don't, if we're eliminating 2 bad answers, we're in good shape. Okay, so let's see if we got any help with the answer key here for vocab in context 2. I guess we don't. Sorry about that. I thought we had something there for solemn. But anyway, solemn is much more like reflects sadness. And so, or there's a solemn mood, like a lot of times people are quiet. So that would be the answer that we're looking for. So let's do another one. Okay, the second one. In the following sentence, what does the word engrossed mean? Okay, and then it says, after her summer job monitoring pollution levels in the local creek, Alexandra became engrossed in the subject and signed up for both biology and hydrology when she returned to college in the fall. Okay, so she became engrossed in the subject, right? And so she had this job, and then she became engrossed in the subject. Let's say we don't know what engrossed means, and then she signed up for both biology and hydrology, right? So she was pretty excited about it, right? So that's what we'd be thinking. We're thinking engrossed based on that sentence. Excited, passionate, interested, some word kind of like that. So I wrote down excited, but like interested, passionate, blah, blah, blah. That's what we're looking for. Okay, so then let's look at the answer choices. Well known. Okay, so that doesn't really fit, does it? Right? That really doesn't fit into what we were hoping for, so we can go ahead and eliminate that one. Absorbed. Okay, so Alexandra became absorbed in the subject and signed up for both biology and hydrology. Looks pretty good. Let's see what else there is. Disappointed. Doesn't make any sense. If anything, that's more like the opposite of what we want. Okay, so now we've already eliminated 2. And then monopolized. Okay, and again, so it might be that you don't know what that word means. That's okay, right? But it doesn't really fit at all with what we have. And absorb seems so good. If you get monopolized and you're like, I kind of feel like maybe I know what, like the board game Monopoly, so you think, well, it's about money. Okay, that doesn't really seem to apply. Or like control over a bunch of land or property or businesses, or railroads or something like that. If you can get that far with monopolized, that's pretty good. You're pretty close to the answer there, right? So no, and then we go with absorbed for our answer. Okay, so that's kind of how we go through these. Getting more and more practice, hopefully, from watching videos, spending time in the app on how to go through these types of questions.